It's 6:31 p.m. and
Sorry.
what's that? This is the Southborough Youth Commission meeting. It's February 13th, 2024. And we will begin at 6:31 p.m. First on the list is an announcement that David would like to make.
Okay, thank you, Lauren. So I am going to be formally leaving the board, the Youth Commission board, and the reason for that is I found this new passion, choir singing, and it really started last, I would say, April, and a friend of mine encouraged me to audition for this choir. I did, and that choir performs with the Boston Pops. And since then, I've joined 3 other choirs, and I've had the pleasure of performing at Symphony Hall, at the Museum of Fine Arts, and various other places. And I've discovered that that's now what I really want to do. So unfortunately, I've had to rebalance my time and reshift priorities. But I did want to say, coming on to this meeting, what a pleasure it's been to have been a part of this committee, whose sole mission is to provide behavioral health and social services for the residents of Southborough. So it's a very honorable thing that this group does, and kudos to Sarah and her team for the great work that they do. And it's been an honor to be a part of that. And I'm leaving with a little bit of a heavy heart, but at the same time, I'm pursuing something that means a lot to me. And I was telling Lauren that, hey, maybe I could sing a couple of songs for the committee, and she said, well, it's a public meeting, it's probably not the best place to do that. So I would encourage you, I'll send out information when we do actually perform. The Boston Pops concert is really a great concert, because last year we performed with a Grammy Award singer and with the Pops, and this year is going to be the 30th anniversary, so it should be pretty special. So I'll absolutely send out information for anyone who's interested. And again, I want to express my appreciation for being part of this group and wish you all nothing but the best. But I know you'll continue to do good work, great work, actually. So thank you so much. And I just wanted to share that.
David, thank you for everything you've done, and you've been active in this group. So thank you. Good luck on your path here. It sounds amazing.
Thank you.
It's always good to have a passion, especially in our middle age.
It really is. It really
will
is.
Carry you into your senior years and provide you a lot of fulfillment in a lot of ways. So kudos.
Sarah, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, David.
We really enjoyed having a man on the board. So if you can find somebody,
more men need to be a part of this. I mean, it's very noble work that this group does. So it's absolutely, we should encourage more. I will do that. Encourage more folks to be a part of this group.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, David. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Miss seeing you. Please send out your information about where you're performing.
I certainly will. Absolutely will.
Yeah, that would be great.
Although we can't all go, because then it would be a
meeting. Then it would be a horror. We'll have to stagger it.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right. David has already placed a resignation with the town, so he will not be a voting member today. In fact, David, you can probably go ahead and
peace out.
All right. Bye, David.
Bye-bye. Take care. All the best.
Stay healthy.
Thank you.
So with that, we have a vacancy position open, and in the packet was the last posting that we had made of the vacancy announcement. So I don't know if anyone had any, this is our chance to take a look at that announcement again and make any changes that need to be made. Did anyone have any suggestions or anything that caught your eye as being clumsy or needs editing?
Do you think it would be helpful to screen share it?
Yeah, are you able to do that or do you want me to?
I can.
Okay.
1 second, sorry. So many screens. Oh, you have to enable participants
okay.
sharing. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. Um, I hate when you open it and you can't actually
You have to
see.
find the one.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. That's not it.
Let me see.
Weird. Okay.
Do you want me
Sorry.
to try?
Sure.
Let me
I have
see.
it open, but it's not yeah.
Is that big enough or is it tiny?
No,
I
I
think
can
it's
read
okay.
it.
That's okay.
I have my glasses.
Okay. So it's we've used this for the last couple of vacancies, I believe. I did check the links and the links are still valid. We list the responsibilities and the kind of the mission of the Youth Commission. And we mentioned that candidates with a background in the following fields is desirable. We've taken a look at that before.
Mhm.
I think that was the biggest change last time, is that we made it candidates with a background in one or more, because there was some feeling that the way it was previously worded was that you had to have all of those, or that having all of those was desirable, but
I don't know how to put this, but should we have a statement about diversity and so on and so forth, since that's one of our strategic goals?
Yeah.
we had in a previous posting something about something more explicit like that, and then had sort of received some feedback that being less explicit might be better. I
Do
think
we have
that's
do we have a boilerplate that we put on other things that come from?
like for job postings,
Yeah,
equal
like-
opportunity employer, that sort of thing.
yeah. Something that, makes it that, it's part of,
Yeah.
our mission and our beliefs. I mean, I don't think anybody's being scared off without it, but I
Mhm.
just think it would be nice and part, toward our strategic goals.
Well, I think so. The last bullet point under candidates with a background in one or more, it says it's desirable to have the ability to relate to and communicate the perspective of underserved populations. I
Yeah,
think that was how we changed that.
yeah.
We can certainly, we do have within our strategic plan, our overarching goals. One of them is to build diversity, equity, and inclusion competencies within the department. And, but then we would need to add a whole other section about what our strategic goals are. So
I would just put that goal, just say one of our goals is to, just what you said. And just to, I think it would be to help validate if somebody's interested, that, oh, hey, because look at us, we're a bunch of white ladies, And
Mhm.
and we do represent some part of the community, but it would be nice to encourage people from different backgrounds to join the board. I don't know how to do that, except by word of mouth, maybe, or just put something in there. I don't think it's going to hurt is that, we're an all-inclusive, whatever the standard tagline is, in there, just to, I don't know. What do you
You
think?
could tack it onto the end where it says all applicants will be considered, something in
Yeah.
addition to like, applicants, I can't, I don't know how to word it, but from
I'm looking
diverse
up-
populations encouraged or something like that.
It just so happens that right now we're hiring. So we have a posting. We have a posting on the town of Southborough. So town of Southborough's, this is not quite what we need, but here, I'm gonna grab, oh, maybe I'm gonna grab this. I don't know if I can, it's a PDF, so I'm not sure if it will translate, but, oh, and I can't do a chat. Never mind. It says, the town of Southborough is an equal opportunity employer. We recruit, employ, train, compensate, and promote without regard to race, religion, creed, national origin, age, gender, sexual orientation, sexual identity, marital status, military or veteran status, disability, genetic information, or other category protected by applicable federal, state, or local law. So,
I think that's a little daunting.
yep,
I'd rather have whatever we had in our strategic plan, stating one of our goals as a organization is to expand diversity, whatever that is.
okay, let me grab the language from that. Let's see. So the overarching goal is to build diversity, equity, and inclusion competencies along with targeted programming and services. So all applicants will be considered building diversity, equity, and inclusion.
It's part of
Is
our,
is an important part of our mission.
yeah. I would just put that. That sounds
I
good.
like that.
I don't think we need to over engineer it, but I would like to include it.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds more inviting and less like cover your butt legalese.
Yeah. It's
Lauren.
clear.
Okay, no, I don't want to do that.
Lauren, did you get that language? Building diversity, equity, and inclusion competencies is an important part of our mission to be plugged in after all applicants will be considered. Does everybody feel on board with that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does that sound okay to you, Lauren? Oh, you're muted.
Muted.
Sorry. Working on a cold here today, so.
Yeah, you sound very congested.
Yes, I have that. Should we take a vote on that? Or do we need a vote or just put
I
it out
don't
there?
know if we need a vote. I would just amend it as stated and posted.
Okay. We can do that. Sarah, where does that get posted? I can reach out tomorrow and ask you that, but
I'm
Okay.
muted this time. So it actually gets shared online for the most part. Not much is physically posted these days. Although there is a bulletin board at town hall, they might put it there, but honestly, chances are by the time we post it many places, we're gonna have, I think there's some folks who are already interested. So I think this is helpful to have something to share with people who have expressed interest, on how to follow up on their interest, and ensure that, you know, what they think they're signing up for is what they're signing up for. But I think also in the past, through the select board's office, and through the town's social media, that we have shared things like this. So typically, I think Katie Barry had helped us with this last time at town hall, but yeah, we can connect on that
Okay,
over email.
all right. Next on the agenda is the minutes from both, first of all, the December 12th, 2023 meeting.
Oh, Lauren, do you want to stop screen sharing?
Yeah, sure. Were there any edits to that? Okay, hearing none, can I ask for a motion?
I make a motion to approve the December 12th, 2023 Southborough Youth Commission Board meeting minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. So Karen Ingram,
Yes.
Laura Chioco,
Aye.
Sarah Micas,
Yes.
Susan Byer,
Yes.
and Nancy Sutton,
Yes.
and Lauren Ritchie, yes. And then moving on to the January 9th, 2024, our last meeting minutes. Thank you, Karen, for taking those. Very
Yes, thank you.
helpful.
You're welcome.
Any edits to those meeting minutes?
No.
All right. May I have a motion?
Oh. A motion.
To approve the meeting minutes from January 9th, 2024? Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Karen Ingram,
Yes.
Laura Chioco,
Yes.
Susan Byer,
Yes.
Sarah Micas.
I abstain because I was not there.
All right. Nancy Sutton
Yes.
and Lauren Ritchie. Yes. So next on the list is a Southborough Youth and Family Service Program Coordinator adjustment in hours update. Sarah.
Okay, so this, you should have in your packet, this came in just today, this change, and the memo came later this afternoon. And I just want to make sure, do you guys have that with the memo included?
I don't have it yet.
I have the, memo to Mark Purple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I sent it to everybody sort of in one fell swoop with having it posted. Maybe just because it didn't, you guys just bear with me for a second. I'm going to actually screen share it because I'm concerned that perhaps it didn't get included in the packet. All right, are you able to see that?
Yes.
Okay, so the short of it is that Shannon's had a change at home. Her, as she outlines here in this letter, her husband's company was acquired by a new owner, and that's made some pretty substantial changes to their schedule at home. And so she's been really required to do things that she hadn't been before, which has been impacting her schedule. We talked quite a bit about it. It took a long time to sort of land in this place. She's been sort of monitoring things through her husband for a while, and it, you know, things were kind of up in the air for a good amount of time. So she kind of has an understanding of the new normal as of now, but one of the things, for example, is that her husband has to travel into the office a lot more than he had been previously, which means that she needs to be available for her family at other times that she was previously able to work. So as a result, she's asking for a reduction in her hours from 40 hours a week to 30. She already works 30 hours a week during the 8 weeks of summer. So she's asking to make this change for what's left of FY24. And we'll just transition into the summer weeks at 30 hours a week with a plan to return to 40 hours a week in the fall. That will give them some time to really make whatever adjustments they need to make and plan more accordingly. They didn't have really that opportunity to do that now. So this letter outlines how this reduction will impact her work. Specifically, the thing that she's most disheartened about is her opportunity to work with the Southborough Youth Council. That is a group that meets after school, and she has proposed some alternative times to the students, hoping that there might be an opportunity to meet at another time. She's just not available to do it after school. But for many of them, that's not feasible. So she is working with Trottier staff to make them aware of this change. She's talking with the students involved. And she's hoping that there might be some opportunity to shift the way that this program is delivered. So that remains to be seen as of now. This will also impact her ability. Shannon's works in the area of prevention, which means unlike Megan and I, where the work comes to us, Shannon has to go to the work, meaning, she is constantly getting out there, making connections, constantly researching, constantly learning, researching, and doing upstream work. And I guess the benefit of that here is that, well, prevention is always the first thing to go when it comes to the work in this field, which is unfortunate because it's the thing that gives us the most bang for our buck, which is why we made a really concerted effort to focus Shannon exclusively on prevention programs. But with less hours, she's going to have to cut back on her ability to do outreach and be engaged in some of the programs that she had been planning to offer. And I don't know how much this will be impacted because this happens sort of more incidentally throughout the day, but she's very heavily involved in the work with our substance use prevention coalition. She's the chair of our coalition. We have an action plan, much like our strategic plan for the department, but an action plan for the coalition with lots of really fantastic objectives and initiatives that we're starting to work on and build a foundation for the group. Thankfully, we've just recently hired our prevention coordinator, Emily Flavin, who's listed here. So Emily, Shannon, and I have, put our heads together as to how we can, how Shannon can still stay engaged in these efforts with fewer hours at the department. So she's outlined, what she's able to do for her hours. She is able to commit to a longer day on Monday, which is great. And that's essentially it. So I just wanted to run this by the board, so that you're fully aware of. Is it okay if I stop sharing? I didn't
Yes.
really even scroll through this entirely. Sorry about that, but so she is unfortunately in a position where she does not have any other options right now. So we wanted to make the board aware of it. She is sharing this information with Mark Purple, our town administrator, and just wanted to know if anybody had any questions or comments.
Is there any chance she can do some of her research work remotely from her home?
We've talked about that, and that's already something that's been considered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there
And
any, is there any concern that they won't approve this?
If I'm being frank, I think it's either it has to be this or Shannon isn't able to stay.
Okay.
So, my hope is that we won't get any pushback on this, but we're doing our best to make it work. And Shannon's working very hard to make this work. And as all of us know, juggling work and family can be really challenging. So
Agreed. If there's anything we can do to help support her in your efforts, I think it's important, since she's experienced and knows the organization, to try to keep her on. So let us know what we can do.
thank you. I'll pass that along.
yeah, I was just gonna say, if there's any other outreach, I mean, I know it's hard with the Substance Coalition, but if there's something the board can pick up, please let us know.
Thank you. Well, I did kind of say that you guys already do so much, but I wanted to offer, our thoughts on what could be done to, in response to the reduction in hours. And I mentioned Friends of the Southborough Youth Commission and the Youth Commission to say, with regard to outreach, we, appreciate leaning on these two organizations to assist us with getting information out about our department. And you already all do that, and thank you for doing it and for continuing to it. We appreciate it.
I just had a thought about outreach, since young people want to get involved in some way. Maybe we train a core, a Southborough Youth and Family Services Youth Corps to do some of the outreach.
Mhm.
They are, especially high school kids, they can be well versed in talking about the organization, how it could help. It's a
Mhm.
target population for us. Just a thought, a lot of them take for hours and things to put on their resume.
Yep, yeah.
So, and I'd be happy to help out in trying to find those people and training them. So
It's not a bad idea. We had a group of young people stationed at the, words are escaping me right now, the transfer station, who were asking people, when we last did our strategic planning process and we were trying to get people to participate in a community needs assessment. And we had a group of young people stationed there all day long, handing out flyers with QR codes to ask people to take a survey. And people were very receptive to wanting to help them and drawn to them, much more so than if I was standing out there. So
yeah, no kidding. We might be intimidating with our.
I would say, I
Sure.
think my high school daughter did better at the Woodward outreach than I did. You wanted to talk to her more.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, so I think if anybody has, has youth that would be interested, it's a great idea, and certainly something that could be considered community service, and happy to meet with anyone. And as Sarah mentioned, I'm sure any one of you guys could speak to what we do, but I think it's a nice idea. So
Yeah, and if you, my daughter was actually today so confused. She's like, all of a sudden, Shannon can't do any Wednesday morning, after school meetings, and what's gonna happen with youth council? And
I
we had a
know,
pet project in the works, and she was all like, and I was
I
like, I
know.
don't know. Kind of odd that Shannon would just stop doing it, and now I know why.
Yes, yeah. We
good, nice
have talked, I know. This is the one thing that an
know,
email
she was
she's been begrudgingly did not want to send. So she really adores the kids in youth council, and that was probably the hardest part of all of this for her. So
maybe they can make it work another time.
yeah.
You don't need anything from us in terms of a supportive vote or anything.
No, in fact, so the same information that I shared with you, or that was included in the packet, says something to the effect that I've made the Youth Commission aware of this. So I think at this point, it's really just to make you aware and see if you had any follow-up questions or concerns you wanted to ask. So I think that's it as of now.
Okay.
Thank you for your support. I'll speak on behalf of Shannon. I know that she appreciates it too.
Well, she's a very valuable asset, and I hope everything works out for her.
Yes, me too. Thank you for saying so.
All right, any other comments? So we'll move on to the director's report. Sarah?
All right, it's been a busy time. I think the biggest change for us is you're all aware that Christina McCarthy, our business administrator, has very excitingly taken a new position over at Southborough Recreation as their new program coordinator. I'm thrilled for her. I'm thrilled for the rec department, and as the director of youth and family services, I feel sad. I miss Christina. Not just because of how much we need that position, but because it's her, and she was just such an incredible addition to our small but mighty team, and we were very fortunate to have her as long as we did. And that's why I say how excited I am for the rec department, because she's awesome. Oddly though, I'm working with her it's not odd. I'm working with her in a new capacity. I had a meeting with Christina today about camp, a very different meeting than we're used to having. So that was kind of fun. But so that's the biggest change we have going on in the department right now. I am doing my absolute best, all of us are, to cover responsibilities. It's really good for us, even though it's challenging, so that we have a lot of cross training going on, and all hands on deck kind of approach. I am super eager to fill that position with somebody who's a good candidate and a good fit for the department. When you're a small department, it's really important that everybody works well together. We do have, actually, is this a separate agenda item, Lauren? I'm trying to remember. No, it is. Okay. Well, maybe I don't need to go over it twice. It is outlined in the director's report also, but we are working on, we've reviewed applications. We had a good number of applicants, which is great. And then we have 5 candidates that we are planning to interview. We start interviews on Friday, and then we have another date. I have not heard the status on the second date. I know we have some scheduled for this Friday, but also on the Tuesday following February vacation, there's another time frame being offered. So hopefully, I think the plan is to have a first round interview and then a second, and then there's always some paperwork that needs to be done and other logistical things. So I would expect that it wouldn't be until probably several weeks from now, I think, that we maybe mid to late March would be my guess that we would have somebody. And that's if among the people we're interviewing, we have a candidate that feels like a good fit. So hopefully, let's all hope that what we've seen so far, there's some really good possibilities. So that's exciting. So I think that's the biggest adjustment, at least for us. I have been working hard on getting camp scholarship information out the door to families and to the schools. A little behind schedule, more behind schedule than I would like, but I'm being kind to myself in this process and saying you're doing what you can. Perhaps this year wasn't the best year to do this, but we did sort of revamp the way that we are having people apply for camp scholarships. We're doing one universal application for all income eligible programs. So instead of asking people to submit their income eligibility information multiple times throughout the year, they have to do it just once in a calendar year. So all the folks who are interested in applying for camp are doing that now. And the other thing that I added, which is really the harder part, but been really valuable so far, is asking all the applicants to come in for a 15-minute appointment with me to review their application, to talk with them about their needs, and also to inform them about other things that our department does. It's been really nice to connect with folks on a more personal level versus just going back and forth between applications and correspondence over email and phone. So that's been very nice. We are also, at the same time that we are interviewing candidates for the business administrator, Megan and I have also been interviewing for graduate level interns for the fall. So we've had a couple of interviews so far. We're doing that a little bit different this time around too. We're doing 2 rounds of interviews for that as well. So that has kept us rather busy, but has been a good change in our process. And then we've got a number of programs coming up that Shannon and I have been working on together, which include, we had a speaker back in January, Donna Shea from the Peter Pan Center. We have another speaker coming up in March, John Madelman, and he's coming to Trottier for that. And that's on March 6th. And then we have for International Day, actually, that's a mistake on my part on the director's report. It's International Day of Unplugging now on March 1st, 6 to 8 p.m. We're partnering with Friends of the Southborough Youth Commission and the Rec Department. So this is sort of a twofold event. It's to observe International Day of Unplugging, but also serving as a fundraiser for camp scholarships. So we've included in the packet the flyer for this event. Should be a lot of fun. We have some mystery judges coming to the event. we have 2 people committed. We're working on our 3rd one now, who's going to look at me like I have 3 heads when I ask this individual if they would like to be a karaoke judge. But it should be a good time. And so I hope you'll consider coming or sharing this information with friends and family to come to this event. It should be a lot of fun.
Sarah, did we quick question on that? I don't know
yeah.
if this is the right time, but did we decide first place is going to get a prize, and so I could ask friends for a gift card or something? Did we?
Yes, I think we originally were saying even just a cheesy karaoke golden microphone trophy would be a prize to win for sure, just because that's kind of the feel of the whole evening, is to just be silly. However, I do think that for first place, something to go with that would be a nice add-on.
Okay. So do you want us to just run with those, like 3 awards for first, second, and third, like trophy things, and then maybe if when I have the meeting, it starts in 15 minutes, the friends meeting after this, if we decide that we're happy to, we'll pick up some kind of gift card for the first place winner.
You know what? If you can just do a gift card for the first place winner, we can likely use from our program supplies. The golden microphone trophies that we saw were pretty affordable, and they kind of come in batches. So,
okay.
So if you guys could focus on just the
gift card for the first place,
yeah,
okay,
that would
cool.
be great. That would be super
thanks.
helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think, and just to add to the excitement, it's budget season. And so all of the things that come with budget season, meetings and reviewing the town warrant and all of things of that nature are happening also. So that's essentially what's written in the director's report for this month.
Did you want to address anything else on the business administrator position, or are you did you cover that?
I think I covered it. Where is it? That's further down. Yeah, so I think it was just to say we had I think it was 2 or 3 weeks of the position posted. The deadline to apply was on February 2nd, and on February 5th, Lauren, Karen, Vanessa Hale, our assistant town administrator, and I got together to review the applicants and sort of decide who we wanted to interview, and the end result was 5 candidates. I told you when we're interviewing them and that we hope to, among these 5 candidates, have a good final candidate. I don't think there's anything. Oh, I think just to say that the second interview would include this person having an opportunity to meet with other staff members, which is important to me. I like to, again, since we're a small department, I especially like my right-hand person, Megan, our assistant director, to have an opportunity to meet our final candidates and weigh in on her thoughts, especially since this person is going to be screening all of the phone calls that come in, and sort of our first point of contact for people. It's a really unique business administrator position for that reason. So, so I appreciate her feedback on our finalists also. I think that's all else I had to add about that.
All right. Did you have additional information on the budget?
I had said something that interface, that's what it was. So far I have had no news with regard to, no one has asked to meet with me again from the select board or advisory about our budget request, which I mean, I interpret as there's no major objections to anything that we've requested. One thing that has been discussed is interface referral service, and there's no question from anyone about the support of having that service for the town. The question has been the funding source. So the select board, you may remember I went to them to request that we use some ARPA funding for another contract with Interface following the current contract. And they encouraged us to put it in our operating budget because the town has come to depend on this service, and they wanted to see it funded by a sustainable source. And so I did that. And I also talked with the school department about sharing the cost of interface referral service. And then there was a proposal from members of advisory to use opioid settlement funds or opioid abatement funds to pay for interface. And that idea has been utilized in other communities. So there are other communities that are using opioid settlement funds to pay for interface. The challenge has been that we are supposed to do our due diligence of asking the community, and also specifically asking individuals with lived experience their thoughts on how these funds should be used. Similar to ARPA funds, how the community was surveyed on things that they thought were high priorities. So we really should be taking that step prior to using or earmarking any opioid settlement funds for anything. But it's not a bad idea to use those funds for interface, because the argument can be made that having interface is a form of prevention, because people can access mental health services more readily if they have the support of finding providers. So really the argument against using opioid settlement funds for this purpose is process. Have we done what we need to prior to utilizing or earmarking these funds? So I don't know what the outcome of that conversation will be. It's kind of out of my hands at this point. I've sort of weighed in on it along with the health department, and the town accountant was part of that conversation. So I think that's something that will continue to be discussed amongst the advisory committee and the select board. But either way, interface will be funded somehow. That was long-winded. I apologize.
No, it's good. Any additional comments on budget or interface? All right, we have outreach opportunities, and as Sarah has mentioned, there's the International Day of Unplugging, which will be March 1st, 2024. It's costume karaoke night. And we've kind of just discussed it already. Any other outreach opportunities that are on the horizon?
None that I'm aware of right now. Is anybody else aware of anything coming up that would be good for us to attend? No. Okay.
All right. We'll move to the Friends update.
Okay, so what is first on the agenda? Okay, March Munchie Madness. So we did this last year and was a pretty successful fundraiser. So we'll be putting these flyers all around town and on social media. And so it's Wednesdays throughout the month of March. So Ola, Nan's, Southborough House Pizza, Yamafuji, and then we actually have Tommaso. We have 5 this year, and there's only 4. unfortunate Wednesdays, so Tommaso went for Thursday. In addition, we have Vinbin at both their locations is getting this new King Caravan sandwich. And I guess there's a player, Alex Caravan, who was a Southborough athlete, and he's playing for UConn basketball. So they're really trying to push this King Caravan sandwich. And I guess all the proceeds, or a portion of the proceeds, if you buy the King Caravan sandwich on March 10th, also goes to friends. So we're just asking, you know, obviously when you get these flyers and you just see, we'll be asking people to visit these restaurants on those dates, because 10%, it's an easy way for friends to make 10% back of all the proceeds, and it goes to camp scholarships. So it's a pretty easy fundraiser. What else? We're doing concessions at Costume Karaoke. Obviously, we just keep talking about that. So I will make sure I have enough volunteers. And then, oh, Shop with a Purpose. That's going to happen Saturday, May 5th. We haven't gone too far into the process of planning, but we're going to work with Kinder Group this year, and we want to make it a bigger event. I think I told you, with maybe a bounce house and a lot of stuff on the front lawn of the community house to bring in a lot more bigger crowd. So more to come on that. And just wanted to quickly touch on the Friends succession plan. Leslie Haddon will be stepping down as chair in June. And so I will be chairing next year. Friends kind of takes a break over the summer at the end of June, and we don't really meet much until the school year again. But so next year I'll be taking over as chair for Leslie. And she'll stay on the board probably, I mean, on the Friends group, and still be involved, but she's ready to pass over the reins. She's done it for 5 years, so. And I think that's about it.
Thanks, Karen. Any Friends questions for Karen?
Karen, do you want your volunteers in costume as well? For costume karaoke?
That's a very good question.
That's an important question.
And I know you love costumes, Laura. I think I'll wear a costume too. That'd be fun. Good idea.
Can do
That's
that.
great.
And so I do need some, Sarah said we as board members, we can't collect money at the door, correct? Okay. So
Right.
Laura, you won't be able to collect money at the door, but I'll make sure I have some people from Friends to be able to collect money at the door. But if you want to come and just volunteer, that'd be awesome too.
Yeah, I would imagine we need at least, I like people to not be alone in whatever station they're at, because,
Yep.
you know, just in case. So a couple of people at the door from Friends, because people do have the option to pay at the door, as well as pre-register online. We will also need help with the karaoke sign up process and making sure groups are on deck, that sort of thing. And probably 2 to 3 or 4 what I would call floaters, people just kind of mingling. Inevitably something gets knocked over or spilled, or you know, someone just needs help finding the restroom, just to help ensure things are running smoothly, that sort of thing.
Okay, great. And I'll talk to Friends tonight and see how many volunteers we have, but and maybe I'll see if I can get my daughter to come and do concessions. Because I don't think she's going to volunteer to do karaoke. I already asked her. I was like,
I
You
might
don't
be
wanna
able to get
do-
mine to do it.
Oh, that'd be great. Karen, your whole family, you don't want to do like a whole family?
my husband would sooner divorce me.
You should get David Joyner to come and
Oh,
serenade
yeah.
us.
No, I actually had that thought. I was like, Dave, you can't sing during a meeting, but you could come to costume karaoke.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Dave, if you're still listening.
We need you.
That's great. Then last on the list here is something that I had brought up of the Youth Commission succession planning. And it just stems, it doesn't come from me wanting to step down as chair or anything like that. It just it seems to me that we should probably have something in place for a new chair every year, every 3 years, every 2 years, something like that. When we were kicking around some ideas about it, we know that sometimes the sorry, I think I have too much cold medicine. I
Are you
think
tr-
that
you were referencing the select board?
yes,
Is
the
what you were
select
gonna-
board changes out every year.
Yeah.
My concern about that is that by the time you sort of learn the ropes of it, you're at the end of your year.
Mhm.
So I don't know if we would want to do a vice chair to chair every year kind of thing, or have a 2-year rotation or 3-year rotation or something like that, but probably not more than that. Is my thought. So just something to think about. We can have a group discussion on it, and what our process is I think it is May that we put out the listing of the Southborough Youth Commission positions for review and have nominations. And then in June, there's a vote for the officers for the year. So this is just something that we're talking about in advance of the meeting, and we could even talk about it again in March or April, with some time to think on it.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to add, Sarah, if I will be stepping up as chair of Friends, because if I'm vice chair of this, I will probably not be in a position to want to step up as chair eventually. Because if we decided that the vice chair goes to chair or whatever. So anyway, anyone on this board think about wanting to chair or vice chair, because I don't think we talked about it. Probably isn't best to have the same chair on Friends and
Right.
Youth
Yeah,
Commission.
I would agree with that. Also, one of the responsibilities of chair is to do a performance evaluation for Sarah. And that was a little bit of a learning curve on that one. So again, whether we want someone, I think that would drive me insane if I were in Sarah's position of every year someone new is evaluating her. So just something to think about there.
Yeah, I think there's value, I just to add, well, and Sarah Mikas, you could probably comment on this too, but we had for a long time the same person as chair. I think it helps to develop the strength of the youth commission overall. If that is a responsibility for the chair and the vice chair position to be rotated, because it, means that at any given time, people feel comfortable taking those responsibilities on and understanding the process and the ins and outs and whatnot. I do agree that I think every year is too frequent. But we had one chair that we had for something like 10 years, and that's just much too long. So
I don't think he was really into his job at the end.
yeah, right. And then Sue did it for a while too. So
Yeah, I think there is and I think it's great to get fresh ideas, fresh vision, fresh leadership. I think, being in the same position for a long time, you get burnout or too short. It's not enough to really, learn the ropes, as you say, Lauren.
So it sounds like, Lauren, you're suggesting thinking homework between
Yes,
now
I think so.
and maybe, do you want it to be on the agenda for next meeting, or is that too soon to discuss a succession
Yeah,
plan?
I think it's worth it. That'll be March, and I think it's our April meeting that we start doing the scholarships and things like that, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So those are busier meetings, so maybe March.
We meet in
Um,
person, I think, in April too.
Right.
We'll see your legs.
Well, that's another thought is if this would be better, would feel more comfortable hashing out in an in-person meeting, we could do an April meeting for that. And just everyone brainstorm.
I think this part of the conversation, because we're not talking about anyone specifically or putting anyone on the spot. We're just talking about a plan. Could probably happen during an online meeting, but that perhaps it's usually the May meeting that we do nominations.
I think April and May are really busy with other things, with, the all the outreach opportunities and scholarship stuff. I think if we discussed it on the March agenda, and do we need to write something up? I don't know what the expected outcome of our discussion will be.
Right, I think just we could write it. I think it should be written up and included as part of the information that we have on board positions.
Mhm.
But I think the main purpose is just to go into May with nominations with sort of a plan this year.
Okay.
I apologize. I have a bunch of friends trying to get onto a Zoom call and they're like, and I have to start the Zoom call, but I can't start this Zoom call until I get off this one.
They
But
could
I
just
won't
join
know.
our Zoom call.
I know. I don't know if there's anything else that if I leave, or do we have to vote, adjourn? Like, I
No.
don't want to cut us short, but I also, everyone's texting and I was like, yeah, I'll start. the
Really,
meeting.
we just have adjournment.
Sorry, I don't want to.
If you'd like to stay and vote for adjournment, you can.
I think we can handle it, Karen.
Yeah,
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Karen.
All right, with that, we have come to the time for adjournment. So, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn the February 13th meeting of the Southborough Youth Commission.
I'll second that.
Thank you. So Sarah Micas,
Yes.
Susan Byer,
Yes.
Laura Chioco,
Yes.
Nancy Sutton,
Yes.
and Lauren Ritchie. Yes. All right. Have a good one.
I feel better, Lauren.
I
Good
know.
night,
Good night,
Thank
everybody.
you.
That's awful.
Thank you. Bye.
Here, get well.
you.
Bye.